What's up, you guys? Here with Luke Rockhold. Sorry about that, Luke Rockhold. I actually ran into you this morning. I thought I saw you this morning at the hotel over there. I was like, dude, I think that's him. And I noticed, because don't take this the wrong way, your freaking thighs were massive. You had a pair of shorts on this morning. I was like, damn. But obviously you had a tremendous MMA career. Back us up a little bit. How the hell did you get into MMA fighting? It's like most kids don't walk up one day and say, hey, I want to go get punched in the face and punch people. Where did that come from?
It's kind of always been me. I've always wanted to like hit and be hit and test it. If you get hit me, I'd rather be too fast, too quick, and too good to get hit back. So it's like, you know, that was always me. It's always instigating things with my brother and his friends. Always like picking on them and then taking my beatings if they caught me.
Were you younger or older?
I was younger.
You were
3
younger.
years younger. Yeah.
Right on. Did you come up with wrestling, like in high school and stuff, or?
I didn't, and then when I did, they learned to back off. A couple years of wrestling, and those kids it closed that 3-year gap. My brother and his friends, and after a couple of years, they couldn't mess with me.
Did you wrestle during high school or anything? Or
I wrestled junior high and high school. Yeah. Junior high and high school, and I was like one of the best wrestlers in the state of California. Yeah. And there was no professional outlet in college. You know what I mean? It's like slave labor. Yeah. You're gonna work your ass off and get paid nothing. So I was like,
not the road.
There's no future ahead of this. And I was like, why am I gonna torture myself to not get paid? Okay. I'm too good at everything else.
So how did you make?
So I broke off that and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a professional skateboarder, surfer, bullshit, and just kind of fucked around for a while.
How did
Excuse my language, but
no, you're good. How did the MMA hit?
Yeah, and then I was doing jiu-jitsu on the side.
Okay.
And I started
while you were skateboarding
skateboarding, and I started winning. Like, I won a couple world championships in jiu-jitsu. Okay. And seeing how prevalent jiu-jitsu wasn't fighting, I was like, I knew I could scrap. I was in a few fights here and there back in the old Santa Cruz days, and I just made the crossover and started cracking heads.
Yeah, obviously in UFC, to say with UFC, but with it all started off almost like no jiu-jitsu, and now everything freaking inside of it is like jiu-jitsu based, is the main piece of it.
I think it was all the martial arts, and then it was actually all jiu-jitsu because it was like everyone like kind of clashed. And then Royce Gracie and like the Gracies kind of like showed that jiu-jitsu was paramount. Without jiu-jitsu, you had nothing. Yeah, for sure. And then you had like the Chuck Liddells of the world come in and showed like, you know, you can't take me down. I can stop your jiu-jitsu and I'm gonna knock you out. And so the sport has just evolved, you know, over time.
And speaking of that, I talked to Chuck yesterday. He FaceTimed me while I was here.
I talked to Chuck yesterday too.
Yeah. And I said, hey, Dad, I told him I was doing. I said, I think I'm gonna be interviewing Luke, and he said, hey, tell him I said hello. And we were talking about a photo. There was you, Tim Kennedy, and Chuck was in a photo recently. Chuck's come out to one of our events to speak at it. In your fights, which one was your favorite, win or lose, which was your favorite fight that you actually did?
I mean, speaking of fights, Tim Kennedy was a fun fight.
Okay.
I fought Tim for my last title defense in Strikeforce. Fucking guy, man. The guy just never quit. He's the reason why he's who he is, you know what I mean?
Bunny,
he's just like, and just a will that's not, you know, you can't break. At that point, he was just on me, and I just kept cracking him and hitting him, pushing him away, and he just kept coming. And so it was a fun fight. It was a tough one. The Jacare fight was probably one of my favorite. I was just like, I was broken. I was injured. I was on the shelf for 19 months, and came back to fight Jacare for 5 rounds. I'd never been out of the first round. Never once been out of the first round. And I fought Jacare into a 5-round war. Just came out hot of the gates, doing spinning tornado kicks and shit and everything. I was like, what? I was just like, fuck it, let's go. And but that one was brutal, and it was well earned. You know, I mean, that was the first honest time I ever like cried after a fight.
Obviously, a lot of athletes watching the shows or whatever, but UFC is a unique sport, or I should say, UFC MMA is a unique sport because it's one-on-one, mano a mano, and people pretty much across the board, you'll eventually lose inside of it. You'll lose inside of it. And
sorry, Vic's shoes.
No.
Gotta look out. We don't want those laces to get dirty. And I know white shoes, man. I like my whites.
How do you tell someone when they do lose? Not just in fighting, but life. You get knocked down, you get beat up, whatever it may be. Relationship fails. What do you say is a key to move forward inside of through a failure?
Obviously, it's perseverance. You know, it's you don't even know what is winning without losing. You know what I mean? You gotta feel that pain. To understand what the reward is. You know, the more you risk, the more you can make. You know, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. That's the truth of life. You know, and you gotta feel those lows to understand and appreciate those highs. So I mean, Just gotta
perseverance.
You gotta perseverance, man. You gotta accept defeat, and move on, and fucking fight through it.
Last question I got for you.
And then understand, like, embrace defeat. You know what I mean? Embrace it. Let it sink in. Let it sting. Let it hurt, and manifest through that.
Last question I got for you. We shoot the show called I Am Me. Just talking about being the most authentic, real person that you are, and with life and social media, everybody has a kind of a facade to it. Everyone has a facade to it, right, man? When Luke Rockhold is all said and done, man, your whole life, and you're not 100 years old, if the people that follow you, the fighters and the community, if they knew Luke Rockhold by one word, what would that word be that you'd want them to know about you? You would be known as?
Real.
There you go, man. Real
tough. One word? Come on.
Well, you get two.
Real tough motherfucker. Real tough motherfucker.
Okay, now we're at 4. Real tough motherfucker.
Real tough motherfucker. The truth, I mean, it's like, that's what life is about. Truth.
Yeah.
Truth and freedom and fucking, and change.
I love it, man. So your one word answer is real truth motherfucker.
Real tough motherfucker.
Real tough motherfucker. Luke, man, it's been a privilege, boss.
That's my one word. That's one word. It's a new word. I'm adding it to the dictionary.